All right, let's get started. Today, we're not just going to study for an exam. Nope. We are going to build a strategic game plan, step by step, to help you walk in and absolutely master the IGCSE English Paper 1 with confidence. You know, if you've ever looked at this paper and just felt your brain kind of short circuit, you are definitely not alone. It can look really complex, but I promise you, once you have a clear strategy, it's a challenge you can totally nail.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Every great plan starts with a map of the territory, right? Understanding the battlefield is the very first step to owning it. So the entire paper really just boils down to these three core questions. Think of them like three levels in a game. Each one is designed to test your reading and writing skills in a totally different way. We're going to break them down one by one. All right, first objective on the list. Let's break down question 1. This is where you prove you get exactly what the text is saying, cleanly, efficiently, no fluff. Now, question 1 might look like two different things, but it really comes down to two key skills. For the first part, you've got to be super precise. For the second part, you need to be powerfully concise. Let's see what that actually looks like. For these short answers, it is all about speed and accuracy. Before you even think about writing, scan the passage to find the info. This saves you so much time. When you answer, keep it short, and this is crucial, use your own words. And please, pay super close attention to the instructions. If it says give one word and you give two, you lose the mark. Simple as that. Okay, now for the summary. Your mission here is to find only the most important points that answer the question. And here's a massive rule. Write in continuous prose. That means full sentences, paragraphs, absolutely no bullet points. You've got to paraphrase, watch that word count like a hawk, and just keep it sharp. And see, this is where you can really tell how the paper builds on itself. We're not just looking at what the text says anymore. Now we're digging into how the writer makes us feel a certain way. This is where it gets fun. So question 2 basically turns you into a language detective. First, you figure out what specific words mean just from their context. And then, for the main event, you analyze the writer's tricks of the trade to explain how they make the reader feel or think something. When you get to these vocabulary questions, just forget the dictionary even exists. Your only job is to explain what that word means right there, in that one sentence. The best way to do that? Use a really precise synonym. And whatever you do, don't just repeat the word from the question. That shows you truly get the context. This right here, this is the absolute heart of question 2. Language analysis isn't just about spotting techniques. It's about explaining the magic behind the words. How does a writer use a certain metaphor to create a feeling of dread, or a short sentence to build tension? That's what we're talking about. Okay, and here's the golden rule, the most important part. It is not enough to just say the writer uses a simile. So what? You have to explain the effect. A simple formula to remember is, quote, device, effect. So how does comparing the sun to a blazing diamond affect the reader? Well, you quote blazing diamond, identify it as a metaphor, and then explain its effect. It creates this powerful image of intense, almost painful brightness and incredible value. See? So you've played detective with the writer's work. Now it's your turn to be the writer. The final challenge is your moment to really shine, using the text as your launch pad. For question 3, you're going to get a prompt based on the passage. It could be a diary entry, a letter, a speech, anything really. This is where you get to show off your own writing chops, focusing on a clear structure, the right kind of style, and just a little spark of originality to make your answer stand out. Listen, before you write a single word of your response, make a quick plan. Seriously, it might feel like you're wasting time, but it's the foundation of a top-scoring answer. And pay close attention to the tone and register, basically how formal or informal you need to be. A formal report is going to sound way different from a personal diary entry. Get that right, and then you can really let your creativity flow. Okay, so you've got the tactics for each question. Now let's zoom out and put together the master plan that's going to tie this all together on exam day. You know, a huge part of success on this paper comes down to one thing: managing your time. This here is a pretty solid guide. You want to aim for about 20 minutes for question 1, maybe 25 for question 2, and give yourself a good 30 minutes for question 3. Sticking to a plan like this is your best defense against that last-minute panic, and it means you'll have some precious time left to proofread. So, what's the final checklist before you go in? Number 1, practice with past papers. There's just no substitute for getting comfortable with the real thing. 2, revise your literary techniques until you can spot them in your sleep. And 3, always, and I mean always, leave a few minutes at the end to read over your work. You'd be amazed at the silly mistakes you can catch and fix.
And remember this, acing this paper isn't about getting lucky with an easy text. It's about walking into that exam hall with a clear, confident strategy, ready for whatever they throw at you. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Now that you've got the game plan, what's the very first tactic you're going to practice? Is it timing yourself on short answers? Is it drilling that, quote, device effect formula? Your journey to mastering this paper starts right now.